This year, Matt the farmer, you did a good job with the grapes, and if I may say, it wasn't even an easy year. No. I've never produced so many grapes and so many high-quality grapes. I'll give you a concrete figure. Last year, I produced 30 quintals from the whole vineyard. This year, I'll probably get 65 or 70 quintals of excellent grapes from the whole vineyard. So that means the quality is even higher than last year. It's really amazing. Hello to all the farmers, I hope you're all well. We're in my vineyard. I don't know if you recognize it because it's no longer a pergola compared to last year. A year has passed, we've done a lot of work, we've converted this vineyard from pergola to trellis, and we've had an amazing surprise. This year, maybe it's the best year we've had for the harvest, for wine production. Such high quality, but above all, such a high quantity of grapes has never happened before. Not just for me, but all over Europe, even in France, I've seen articles where production is really skyrocketing. This has led to a series of problems. The first problem is that I have too many grapes. I don't know where to put them. All the grapes, and especially all the wine that we've managed to make and will be making in these days. So we need a strategy, right? Because I produce about 3,540 quintals of grapes per year, and I'm not set up to handle that many. So now, by the end of the video, we'll see two options and two ideas that came to me. Now, however, we're going to harvest the red grapes, specifically the Merlot and Cabernet, because we're going to make them into sparkling wine. So we're ahead of schedule with these varieties if they're harvested as red grapes. Because we're going to make a sparkling wine using the traditional method, we're going to do a selective harvest. What does that mean? It means we're only going to pick the best bunches. At least at this stage. So, well, here they're all fine already, but the bunch, that's the part, well, not now, behind the scissors here, but you see, maybe it's marked, or like this bunch here that hasn't started ripening yet. In this case, we leave it there. We only select the bunches that are already ripe and look good, like this one here. I'll show you so you understand. This one, which is a bunch, this one is definitely still behind. In fact, it's acidic, so we leave it behind. We don't select it. We only take the best grapes. For harvesting, we have men in the field. There are 8 of them who are out picking the grapes. I'm relying, as always, on Marco because having so many people harvesting together is always the best solution. That way they can harvest significant quantities fairly quickly. I've stopped doing home harvests with 3 or 4 people. People who aren't skilled enough for this job because it's about working quickly. We set them up in the field this morning, more or less positioned. By estimating how many crates we might need for the harvest, we have the same tractor with a shovel attached at the back where we place the crates, move them and load them onto the van. Because there was a year when the van here with all the weight sank or had trouble getting out, so we take it and move it away. We can transport 70 crates at a time. I did all the calculations to stay within the right weight limits. As soon as it's loaded, vroom, we set off. There it will unload at the ridge. All the pressed grapes will start to go in. We'll take our crates back, bring them here, and do another 2 rounds. That's how it goes. The goal for the day is about 210 to 240 crates roughly. At about 20 kilo each, we should have around 35 because they won't all be exactly 20 kilo each, more or less. We should be bringing home about 35 quintals, which is what we get every year. As you can see, we load about 9 crates at a time and go about our rounds. That's it, simple. Now, the best ones in Franciacorta have carts. The good thing about the cart is that you can load about 100 crates at a time. Of course, that's nice, but I have a van and a tractor, so that's how we do it. Now the pump has started and it's emptying. Gentlemen, we're taking off. This year,
Matt the farmer, did you do the grapes well? And if I may say, it wasn't even an easy year.
No.
It wasn't an easy year. And we're talking about an important product. As we know, grapes are always the foundation, thanks to a great wine.
This is the Cabernet.
Yeah, that's the one that's a bit looser.
A bit more unlucky. Here.
Look here, how beautiful.
But, well, anyway, it's a variety. There's a prestigious grapevine. Well,
absolutely Cabernet. We don't need to explain the quality of this grape and let's say the important wines that are made around the world. But also in Franciacorta.
Also in Franciacorta?
Because historically, Franciacorta was one of the homes of Cabernet and Merlot. So if you will, we're also giving it a new interpretation, which kind of mixes, which kind of unites the history with the present of my region.
Yes.
Yes, because we're going to turn it into sparkling wine.
This year we did a good job. The pruning I did was also important. We removed all the plants, so it got a lot of oxygen.
Changing the planting layout?
Like you did, and that thing was, I'm telling you, in my opinion, about 20-30% quite a change.
Yeah. Also the fact that you removed everything. The concept of...
The pergola was unmanageable, but besides the treatments, it was unmanageable because you had to create the head for each area.
It was difficult.
I almost always lost the Merlot because it tended to.
It's the first to ripen. It feels the humidity of the season more.
And it would go because when there was heavy rain, a whole layer would form. You could do all the green pruning, but the trellis, either you do it with the Trentino pergola, which is open and can have a, or if you use the trellis. Like in Puglia, it works in Puglia because it's arid. Here, if it rains this much, it's hard for us.
You have to be in the field every day, otherwise you still can't manage it. I'm happy.
Every day of harvest has to have its own bad luck. I get to the vineyard, I go in, and I didn't notice there's a giant hornet's nest. Bam! Look at this sting. It hurts like hell. Everyone was really worried, asking if I was okay because they told me hornets are very dangerous. It hurt like hell. First bad luck, second bad luck, I couldn't go and shred. In fact, if you look, come on, let's look. Let's show the truth. It's not shredded because it's been raining on and off. The other day it rained non-stop, so I worked. The ground is muddy and tomorrow they're expecting about 60 mm of rain. So today was the ideal time, even though I always end up a bit rushed in these moments.
Here is Matt the farmer.
Here we are at my tank. So first filling, we're at 1/3.
Yes, a 20 hectoliter tank.
Good, I'm really happy.
It has a good yield in must, eh?
So I am.
This year it's like this year like this. We always have beautiful grapes, rich, nice and dense, nice and juicy, and even on your grapes it hasn't.
It didn't make a difference. No, I'm happy because later you'll tell me from the analysis what, yes, I took the samples, so we should be good. Or I did the acidity test myself. In my opinion, it was, okay, yes, we are.
Obviously, let's frame the situation a bit. Maybe we're harvesting some red grapes that usually aren't used to make this style of wine. So, a classic method.
This year I harvested Merlot and Cabernet for you.
Okay, especially those perfect, which are varieties that everyone knows for making red wines.
But let's explain for a moment what the classic method is, which is the traditional system used to produce high-quality sparkling wines like champagne. In Franciacorta, Trento denominazione di origine controllata or alta langa, it is based on a second fermentation in the bottle. After the first fermentation done in a tank, sugars and yeasts are added and the wine is bottled. So there will be a second fermentation, which is what creates the bubbles in the bottle. This method is much more elegant, much more complex, and takes much more time compared to the other method that produces bubbles. For example, the Charmat method, which is the one used for Prosecco, where everything is done in a tank.
We are making this kind of adaptation also to meet a need, which is that the market is drinking more and more sparkling wine. So, let's see, because this is the second time we're doing it.
Last year it went very well.
In my opinion, the results are valid. Anyway, we also do it on our own. We've been doing it on our own for years. So I have to say that we have everything it takes to do things well. Small detail, we always work on a steel tank. Right now, there's a bit of a standstill in the situation before starting the alcoholic fermentation, which is the pre-fermentation decanting. So if we touch the tank, we can feel that it's really cold. We're at about 5 degrees, so we stop any kind of possible fermentation. And tomorrow, we'll remove all those small debris deposits, but also the yeasts themselves that we don't need. And then, as always, we'll add our selected family of yeasts to carry out a clean fermentation, because that's what we want.
A lot of work has been done on this. Anyway, as a winery, we try to select a range of yeasts because yeasts don't just carry out fermentation, but they also release a lot of flavors. Yes.
Then they also obviously contribute to the precision of the wine. So having a good family of yeasts definitely helps us make a good wine. And to enhance what your vineyard had to offer us, especially since these are also old vines.
Exactly.
And the value of an old vine should always be highlighted. It should always be elevated. We always work hard, even us in the winery, to try to maintain historic vineyards, to try to keep vines with a rich heritage alive. And this is one of those vineyards. It's a treasure.
Let me tell you what we're going to do, how we've organized ourselves. So, as I told you, we have a lot of grapes in this vineyard. We have 4 different types of grape varieties: Merlot, Cabernet, Incrocio Terzi, and a little bit of Nebbiolo. These blends were made directly in the field, as it's a historic vineyard. Because when mixed together years ago, they managed to balance each other and make an excellent red wine. Nebbiolo always lagged behind, providing that acidity that balanced out the Incrocio Terzi, which instead contributed all the sweetness. Now, what are we doing? This year we'll make sparkling wine from Merlot and Cabernet. So now we're only harvesting Merlot and Cabernet, which are just a few rows, and we're only picking the really ripe grapes. We leave the rest on the vine. We let it ripen for another month because it's not ready yet. Beautiful, rich, nice, and sweet. Then we won't make red wine this year, but we'll go pick the extra grapes we have and we'll make must. Because I want to try making a non-alcoholic cocktail, just so you understand, something very similar, to give you an idea, to a Bellini. So we'll make must peach and see if we can also make it sparkling. It will be a non-alcoholic cocktail. I want to go try it because it's a great solution also to try experimenting. In a year when we have a lot of production, even of alternative products that the vineyard can give us, the extra grapes that will be left over, instead we'll go and sell them. I don't know how much will be left, we'll do the math more or less. So even the hypercritical people who tell us, but you should only make wine, I want to try making alternative products to open up a new market segment for myself. That could be for people who don't drink alcohol, people who still want something alternative. And also children, because a very sweet non-alcoholic cocktail can be enjoyed by children too. These experiments are always done in the best season, when we have more production and we try to open up parallel markets.
We take advantage of the fact that we're above the tapping level of this little tap to sell. Let's see what juice we have, even in terms of color, because this way we can show the gentle pressing. What happens when you press? Red grapes, which usually have good pigmentation because, as we said, Merlot and Cabernet have a medium-high level.
That's Pinot Nero, right?
This is Pinot Nero.
I mean, if you see the difference, it's still the same method. It just needs to be cleaned up a bit and so on. But you can see it's given up a little, a bit of color.
Also because here you have both the first and the second pressing. That means the part closer to the skin, and then also the part where we apply a bit more pressure. Because this is a very small field, so I keep it by itself, separate. But I can't do the fractioning that I usually do, of course, while normally I do the fractioning here as well, so it's not fractioned, but it's a single pressing. Let's go.
So it means that it's true. We'll throw away a bit more sat.
Yes, it will create more sediment by keeping everything together.
However,
you see how it's not red, which is a good sign.
It's orange.
Yes, it has this color here, obviously. Now we're physically pressing and bringing it into the tank, which means we really have the long water in suspension. We have everything. But, you know, it's nice to show you directly. The juice, basically fresh, just pressed.
With basically 0 additives, it's amazing.
Clean. Anyway, as we saw before, the grapes are whole, perfectly healthy. With me, we have an excellent base to start from.
Of course, it's not alcoholic, it's a juice. If we paradoxically were to boil this so we kill all the yeast, we could actually sell it as juice, grape juice. You don't drink much of it or you'll have to use the bathroom often.
Because it's rich in yeasts?
The skins are full of yeasts.
Here, of course, we haven't washed the grapes, so all the yeasts,
all of them are its own,
come into the tank with us. And so,
here,
that's the problem. It can work, but it's good actually. It's really good. It's delicious. Let's try the sugars. Come on.
Now we try not to waste any more if possible.
These are powerful tools, really cutting edge. Here we are.
And this.
So this is a Babbo degree mustimeter. Babbo degree is one of the units used to measure the concentration of sugars inside the must. The degree we read here on this graduated scale will tell us how many kilograms of sugar we have in 100 liters of juice, and then we'll convert it to degrees. What do we do with alcohol? We use the conversion, meaning the yeast's ability to consume sugar and give us back alcohol. Because it's not 1-to-1, it's not 1 gram of sugar.
It doesn't give us 1 gram of alcohol.
But the value we read here needs to be multiplied by 0.60, 0.65, and you take a small average to see more or less what the degree will be.
Now, of course, a little will come out, but that's fine. Yes, of course. Well,
absolutely. Of course, we take some out.
Meanwhile, look at the calculator. We're perfect.
We're at 16,517.
Yes.
We're there. We're more or less above 16 anyway.
Come on, 5.
Yeah, come on.
16.5 for
0.65.
10.72.
I'd say
we are between.
So we are between 10 degrees and 10.7 perfect. Why? Why perfect? Because this won't be the final degree you'll find in the bottle, because this is a classic method. So it will have to undergo a second fermentation inside the bottle, which will develop about another degree, a degree and a half. Then we decide that.
We bring it to 12.3, 12.5, 12, 12, 12.5.
Which is the standard alcohol content we also have in Franciacorta. So I would say we're perfect in terms of sugar level, so we don't waste anything. Let's put it back. I'll give it a rinse, and I'd say we're happy. Did you make one too?
Also acidity, even on the palate, it wasn't bad.
Acidity cleans well. You can tell there's sugar, but behind it you can also feel a good acidic component, the acidity, very honestly. In my cellar, since it's a small operation, I don't have an acidity analyzer. But usually we take samples about 1 kilometer from here, we have them analyzed and get the acidity results.
We'll see them later.
Maybe, which we don't have. Then, in the end, it would also be nice to show the in-between parts well. I mean, what we do in the winter too, and this year we need to do better.
This year, a few likes here that we see. Yes, yes, absolutely, because actually we don't follow things well. We do things a bit in pieces. Maybe we take the moment when you're not working.
Let's go see. Maybe also a bit of the whole process of stabilizing the wine that we make.
Tartaric stability.
Since we've already shown the filtration. We showed very clearly all the harvests, which were very well documented, and the disgorgements. We also showed the bottlings. That would be the cellar interlude.
Maybe we should do a slightly more precise job. Yes, yes, good. Here the machine runs for an hour and a half, you have to wait. So you have to put this, and that's how it works. So farmers, see you in the next video. Bye everyone.